We're not taking big chances. Acres.
There's no problem. Oh yeah. I don't.
Everybody's nervous, real rattled. Huh? I don't mind. Oh, Govinda. Hey, Govinda. Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradha Jaya Gopi Jana Yashodanandana Vrajajanarandana Yashodanandana Vrajajanarandana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradha Jaya Gopi Jana Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradha Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradha Yashodanandana Vrajajanarandana Yashodanandana Vrajajanarandana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Narayanam namaskritya Naram chaiva narottamam Devim saraswatim vyasam Tato jayam mudiraye Nasta prayesha vadreshu Nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttama shloke Bhaktir bhavati naishtaki Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Reading from Srimadbhagavatam for Canto Chapter 2, Text 9. Shruyatam brahmarshayo me Sahadeva sahagnaya Sadhunam bruvato vrittam Nagyananna chamatsara Shruyatam brahmarshayo me Sahadeva sahagnaya Sadhunam bruvato vrittam Nagyananna chamatsara Shruyatam brahmarshayo me Sahadeva sahagnaya Sadhunam bruvato vrittam Nagyananna chamatsara
Shruyatam brahmarshayo me Sahadeva sahagnaya Sadhunam bruvato vrittam Jnanana chamatsara
Shruyatam brahmarshayo me Sahadeva sahagnaya Sadhunam bruvato vrittam Nagyanana chamatsara
Shruyatam brahmarshayo me Sahadeva sahagnaya Sadhunam bruvato vrittam Nagyananna chamatsara
Shruyatam brahmarshayo me Sahadeva sahagnaya Sadhunam bruvato vrittam Nagyananna chamatsara
Shruyatam Hear Brahmarishaya All sages among the Brahmanas May and to me Sahadeva O demigods Sahagnaya O fire gods Sadhunam of the gentle Bruvata speaking Vrittam the manners Not Agyanat from ignorance Na Cha and not Matsarat from envy. All sages, brahmanas and fire gods present, please hear me with attention, for I speak about the manners of gentle persons. I do not speak out of ignorance or envy. This is Daksha speaking. purport. And speaking against Lord Shiva, Daksha tried to pacify the assembly by presenting in a very tactful way that he was going to speak about the manners of gentle persons. Although naturally this might affect some unmannerly upstart, and the assembly might be unhappy because they did not want even unmannerly persons to be offended. In other words, he was in complete knowledge that he was speaking against Lord Shiva in spite of Shiva's spotless character. As far as envy is concerned, from the very beginning he was envious of Lord Shiva. Therefore he could not distinguish his own particular envy. Although he spoke like a man in ignorance, he wanted to cover his statements by saying that he was not speaking from imprudent and envious reasons. Magyana timirandasya ginanjana salakaya chakshurum militamya tasmai shri gurave. I was born in darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master Srila Prabhupada opened my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. Therefore I offer my humble respectful obeisances unto him. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Mukam karoti vachanam pangum langete yat kripadamaham vande Shri Guru Vinataram. So it's amazing how such a great personality like Daksha, a great Prajapati, great big demigod, he's feeling envy of another, great personality like Lord Shiva. That means, Prabhupada said, those who are envious and jealous, they are in the material world. And those who are not, they're not in the material world. Although they may be physically in the material world, the spiritual world, because their consciousness is above this fault finding and envy. One of the qualification of advanced devotees, he doesn't like to be finding fault with others. And if he sees some fault, he feels sorry for the person, wishing the best, to get better. Sometimes the wife may ask me, it is said that one should, like Jesus taught, that one should love his enemies. If you love only your friend, how different are you from the rest of the materialists? Sometimes the wife asks me, how can I love my enemy? I don't feel like it, I feel like hating them, why should I love them, And how can I show tell them, look, the best way is to pray for them, that Krishna, please help them to overcome this tendency they have to criticize and find fault with everyone. The movement is full of people like that. And of course they like to criticize the leaders mainly. So here, Daksha was a big leader himself, but he could not tolerate that somebody was, more powerful than him. So, because Lord Shiva didn't stand up when he entered the assembly of demigods and brahmanas, and he could not control his anger. When somebody is very attached to be honored, when he doesn't get the honor he expects to receive, he feels angry. He's disturbed like that. So, in that sense, he was trying to cover up his real feeling by saying, no, I'm just speaking because I need to speak about the manners of sadhus. The word sadhu is mentioned in the verse. Sadhunam, no? Yes, sadhunam. Prabhupada translated gentle people. For sadhus naturally are gentle. And Lord Kapila Dev mentioned the qualities of a sadhu, a gentle or saintly person. Titikshava karunika suridam sarvadehinam ajata shatrava shanta sadava sadhu bhushanam. Sadhu, saintly person, is tolerant and merciful. Suridam Sarvada, he is friendly to every living entity. Ajata Shatrava, he doesn't have enemies. Yudhishthira Maharaj sometimes addressed Ajata Shatru, he has no enemies. But one may say that it's not possible, Duryodhana is his enemy. Well, I mean, Yudhishthira was considered the enemy by Duryodhana, but Yudhishthira Maharaj didn't consider Duryodhana as his enemy. He felt sorry for him, actually. There is a story about that in the Mahabharata, that while the Pandavas were in exile in the forest, Duryodhana and company wanted to laugh, have a good laugh at them, you know. He wanted to see how they were suffering, living uncomfortably in the forest. So he went then with his army and commander, you know, Karna and others, you know. And when they entered the forest, they made a lot of noise, you know, dust and all this. So one Gandharva, demigod, was taking bath in the river with his wives. And he got disturbed by this big noise. So he came out and challenged Duryodhana for a fight. And of course, Kshatriya, when they're challenged, they like to fight. But this Gandharva was much more powerful than all of them. He defeated everyone. And he captured Duryodhana, he tied up with a rope. All the soldiers were killed. Even Karna was hurt and fled. You know, he abandoned Duryodhana. He was afraid for his own life. So one soldier managed to escape, and he went to the Pandavas' camp and told them what happened. You know, please do something. But Bhima and Arjuna said, "Oh, he deserved that. He came most probably to laugh at us, to see us suffering. So he deserved to be suffering, you know." But Yudhishthira Maharaj said, "No. We are cousins. We may have problem between ourselves. But if a third party come in, you know, to fight with any one of us, we have to do something about it. So, Arjuna, I want right now to go and rescue him and bring him here, safe." So Arjuna, you know, elder brother is like father, so he went to obey. And he challenged the Gandharva, had a fight with him. And he defeated the Gandharva. So the Gandharva was pleased because he saw that Arjuna was very powerful Kshatriya, very, you know, very brave. So he liked him. They made friendship. And he gifted Arjuna with celestial weapons, show him how to use them, the mantras. He thought, you may need them in the future war. And here is Duryodhana, you take him, you do whatever you like. So Arjuna took Duryodhana, and on the way, Duryodhana told Arjuna, I am indebted to you, you saved my life, so you can ask me any boon you want. Arjuna told him, all right, not right now, in the future I will ask you. So they arrived at the camp of the Pandavas, and Arjuna asked Yudhishthira Maharaj, what do you want me to do with him? Oh, untie him and let him go peacefully to his palace. No? So that's what happened. So we see that Yudhishthira Maharaj didn't have any enmity in his heart toward Duryodhana. Duryodhana was, you know, a big rascal. But still he didn't hate him, he just felt sorry for him. No? Now, during the Kurukshetra war, you know, Duryodhana always was teasing Bhishma there to fight, you know, really fight. He knew that he was more powerful than the Pandavas together, you know. Bhishma was very powerful, you know, warrior. So he was teasing him, you know, you're not fighting with all your strength, you're a coward, you know, you still have affection for the Pandavas, that's why you don't fight with all your strength. I was teasing him. So then one day, couldn't take it anymore, Bhishma Deva, and told him, okay, that's it, you know. You see these 5 arrows here? I empowered this 5 hours with powerful mantras. Tomorrow with this 5 hours, I'm going to kill the 5 pandalas. You're happy now? Oh yes, he was in ecstasy. Okay, take this 5 hours, keep them with you. Tomorrow morning you must give them to me. Duryodhana was in ecstasy. He couldn't sleep at night. But then in the middle of the night, Krishna being omniscient, he knows everything. He told Arjuna, go and ask Duryodhana to give you those 5 arrows he has. So Arjuna went, and Duryodhana could not deny because he made a promise he will give him whatever he wanted when he saved his life. Say, okay, here are the 5 arrows. And he gave it to Krishna. Krishna dismantled the powerful mantras on the 5 arrows and broke them in half like that. So when Duryodhana arrived, when Bhishmadev arrived to ask for the arrows, he found Duryodhana completely ejected and morose and frustrated, So to uplift him a little bit, he said, okay, I will fight with so much strength against Arjuna, I will force Krishna to break his promise not to fight. So that's what happened, He attacked so. Prabhupada said in the Bhagavad Gita that in front of Bhishmadev and Dronacharya, Arjuna was like a small fig they could easily smash. But because Krishna was on his side, that's why he came victorious. That was the only reason. And when before the Kurukshetra war, they were looking for allies, both Arjuna and Duryodhana. So they went first to Dwarka. So, and Duryodhana knew a shortcut, he arrived before Arjuna. But when he arrived, Krishna was having a nap. So Daruka, the servant, said, you have to wait. Then arrived Arjuna. So both of them were waiting. Duryodhana at Krishna's side and Arjuna at Krishna's feet. So when Krishna woke up, he saw Arjuna first. Oh, Arjuna, you're here, that's nice. And Duryodhana said, I arrived first. Oh, welcome, Duryodhana too. So what you want? Duryodhana say, I arrived first, I have the right to ask first. Krishna say, no. I saw Arjuna first, and he's younger than you. He has the right to ask before you. But don't worry, you will not go empty-handed. Arjuna, you can choose between me unarmed, I'm not going to fight, I'm not going to use any weapon or fight. Or you can have my army, you decide what you prefer. So Arjuna, without hesitating a moment, said, I want you, Krishna. And Duryodhana thought, this foolish Arjuna, what is the use of Krishna if he's not going to fight? Okay, can I keep your army, Krishna? Oh yes, it's all yours. So he took the army, went back and told Dronacharya and Bhishma, see, I brought this army of Krishna. But Krishna is not going to fight, so he stayed with Arjuna. And Bhishma and Dronacharya, fool, this war we lost this war. Even without fighting, Krishna is so dangerous, forget it, there's no way to win this war. So anyway, when Krishna saw that his devotee Arjuna was being attacked and he was wounded all over by Bhishmadev's arrow, he stooped down and took a broken wheel of a chariot and was going to attack Bhishmadev. Then Bhishmadev was in ecstasy. Here is my Lord coming for me. Once a reporter asked Prabhupada, what you will do if you see a bomb coming on? He said, here is Krishna coming for me. When Prabhupada was in Mayapur, there was a rumors of war between India and Pakistan and all this. So the devotees were asking Prabhupada, how we should prepare, Prabhupada? What should we do? Prabhupada said, just chant Hare Krishna. That's all? Yeah, that's all. Anyway, so...
Maharaj, one question about that.
Yeah.
Was that was at the time when Pakistan possessed the East Bengal.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's right there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, how far is the border, Ram? From Mayapur to Bangladesh?
Close. It's like there's just one side of the border is like Krishnanagar is like an hour or something.
Yeah, very close.
Yeah.
Very close, very close. So almost there was a big war, so what we were really worried what to do, how to prepare, bunkers, machine guns, something, Prabhupada said, just chant Hare Krishna. If you're gonna die, at least die remembering Krishna, I mean, that's for Kshatriyas, we are not supposed to be Kshatriyas. Anyway, once a man approached Prabhupada and said, I would like to join your movement, but I am a Kshatriya. Prabhupada said, I'm very sorry, but now I'm training only Brahmanas. Anyway, we have some Kshatriyas in our movement, of course. I remember when Prabhupada visited Venezuela, there was a group of devotees we called them the Kshatriyas. They were guarding all night, the temple and Prabhupada. They have a stick in hand. Some of them knew karate, they were black belt and all this. So we have some devotees like that. They also can be used in Krishna's service, no doubt.
You could use one of those here.
Yeah, definitely. Just in case, no? Anyway, here we can see how Daksha is trying to cover up his actual intention and feeling. And that's called hypocrisy. He knew he was doing wrong, but he wanted to show himself like speaking about gentle manners. He's not attacking Lord Shiva, but actually he wants to speak about proper behavior that should be there in the assembly of great demigods and sages. So he said, I'm not speaking out of ignorance or envy. This reminds me of a story. One thief came in somebody's house and he made some noise, so the man woke up and said, who's there? And the thief said, I'm not stealing.
Reminds me of Nixon. President Nixon. At one point he said, I'm not a crook. Yeah.
The point being, it reveals their nature.
Yeah, their nature.
It's in their heart.
Yeah, right.
The lady who protests too much, there's a saying from Shakespeare. Protests too much, that means she's guilty.
Yeah, that's true. So the same thing's happening here with Daksha. I say, I'm not speaking out of ignorance or envy. I'm not stealing. So, but it's obvious, it's very obvious, to say how he really was envious of. And what means to be envious of somebody?
Two things.
The
Prabhupada's book, I believe.
That's what it says.
Okay. One thing is that you want what he has. He has something you don't have. You want something to have what he has. That's one other. Like once, Prabhupada told the story that few friends from a village in India, they were discussing about one friend of them. Do you know that our friend became a judge? And they said, that's not possible. That Sanjeev, are you speaking about Sanjeev? Yeah, he became a big judge, No, I can't believe that. We used to kick his ass, from time to time, So now and then one of them said, maybe he's not getting much salary, very little. Some or other try to put him down at your level so you don't feel. But I would like to hear from Dravida, what is the other?
Yeah, the other is to bear malice. To bear malice towards someone. That's also envy. And
So not wanting, but just to wish them ill?
Yeah. Yes.
Wish them ill.
In the Krishna book, one should not be envious even of an ant. And I was, well, how does that work? And I looked it up, and then sometimes you have to consult the Oxford Dictionary for problems.
Yes.
And that's one of the meanings.
Not to feel malice toward somebody.
So that means that what? I don't like that ant. Man, what does it mean?
Yeah, that's envy of the ant. That's to be envious of the ant.
Okay.
Now, often it's not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
You're jealous of someone, you may hate him, but that's
Somebody like to insult devotees, find fault with them.
that's envy.
That's symptom of envy.
Okay.
Could be true or not true what he say about those persons,
Yeah.
or could be exaggerated. And that's symptom of envy. Yes, you have a question.
So, well, for your example, if you smash the ant, how exactly does that represent envy of the ant?
Well, why should the ant leave? She should die. So you're envious that the ant is alive.
Yeah, see,
In other words, it's not that you want, I wish I lived in the ant world, that ant's got a great home. It's not like that. They're saying, and I've heard the definition also,
Yeah.
it just means that you don't like ill will, you just,
ill will, exactly. Here in the dictionary.
That's-
It says,
Ill will.
even in the Western dictionaries,
Yeah.
dictionary, it says that this is an obsolete ill will. But that means that it's there in the Oxford Dictionary. He probably learned it in 1905 when he learned it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's in his vocabulary.
What is obsolete?
Obsolete means it's not used anymore.
Yeah, I know, but what
In the
is
West.
what is obsolete? Which
What does the
word?
word obsolete mean?
No, I know, but we're talking about what?
The very meaning that he just said, ill will.
Ah.
Ill will, bearing ill will to them.
I mean, why bother the ant? He's
So the word,
business, you're
the word ill will is not
So when you
used
get it, I
anymore.
mean, why?
Well, it's not used in that.
Envy is not used in the
Reference.
sense of ill will
Ah.
anymore in America.
How they use it now in America?
Jealous.
Jealous.
I'm envious of you, you've got something I want.
Oh.
Like you're defined,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. This reminds me of a story of one sage. If you remind me his name will be good. That sage, he was in his ashram, and some thieves were running from from the king's soldiers, and they hide in his ashram. So the soldier arrest everyone, including the sage along with them. And they took them to the king. So the punishment was to be with a lance, to be pierced with a lance. So when came to the sage, just before being pierced, the king recognized, no, this is a sage, don't stop, He was almost hurt in his body, was touched by the lance, He had a wound and everything. So he went to Yamaraj to demand from him why this was going to happen to me. What did I do that I was going to deserve to be pierced like that? And Yamaraj told him, when you was a little kid, 5 years old, you pierced an ant with a sharp, straw, with a sharp straw. You pierced an ant, and that's why you were going to suffer like that. So the sage didn't like that. He said, I think you have a bad judgment. I was a little kid, I wasn't conscious what I was doing. So I curse you to become a Shudra. And that's why Yamaraj was born as Vidura. Actually, he was the most busy demigod in all creation. There are more sinful persons than pious ones. So he's very busy judging them, and he needed a break, go out and preach, So that was arranged by Krishna, all this. Krishna's in the heart, he knows what everybody needs. So that was the arrangement. And this sage declared that from now on, kids don't pay reaction for their action until the age of 12. He mentioned.
They don't get reaction.
They don't get reaction until they a certain age. He mentioned, as far as I remember, 12 years old.
Well, that's good. That's pretty weird.
Anyway, so
I was 12.
anyway, so any other comment, question, please?
I have a comment and a question.
Please do.
You were talking about how the bombs are coming, and in Mayapur, in the process of losing my voice, but in Mayapur, Prabhupada said, don't worry about it. I was a bhakta, trying to be a bhakta, and I'm still trying, in Los Angeles in 1970, and And Prabhupada was staying there for some months. He'd give class every day. And there was all this talk that there was going to be the big earthquake in California. It was going to fall into the ocean, buy land in Nevada because it'll be seacoast in no time, So it was all, and even amongst the devotees, they were all, but some of the devotees were all stirred up about it. And so Prabhupada was giving Bhagavatam class one day. And in those days, the temple room was it was in that other, where the museum and all that stuff is. And the doors were accordion style, wood doors that slide. So sure enough, Prabhupada was giving Bhagavatam class. After telling them, just depend on Krishna, just chant Hare Krishna. So there was an earthquake. And even the chandeliers began swinging. And those wood accordion doors shook open. You could see the devotees dressing the deities. A couple devotees, ran out of the building. Prabhupada, all he did was he looked up, checked out the situation, and went right back to Bhagavatam class. It was and we thought about it later on. If you're going to go, what better place to go than in Bhagavatam class in front of the deities? But the point is that I'm just trying to make the point that Prabhupada was practicing when he was preaching. He was undisturbed. He wasn't
Definitely, yes.
But I have a question.
Please do.
The question is, you were saying how we should, and I'm just to stir the conversation. But you were saying, we should pray for some, like we feel sorry for them, so we pray for them.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, if we tend towards envy, or if we tend towards pride, that prayer can grow into envy. One can think, yes, I'm very exalted, and I'm praying for you. I'm praying for Dravida. I'm praying for Swami Maharaj. What is my position to pray for you? So, even that act of praying that, I'm merciful to her, that can make us feel like I'm a superior, I'm just giving you a drop of mercy. So,
you're right. I mean, all depends on the intention, of course, and the state of mind. If somebody feels sorry for somebody, and he also pray, Krishna, please protect me from this tendency also. I'm prone to it too. So please give me some sanity. Myself, I need it too. Please help this other person too. One should include oneself. I'm also in that category too, and I also need the most help. And that way we avoid the sense of feeling superior to others. You're right, it can be there. But that means the person hasn't understood, actually the attitude one should have in prayer.
Prabhupada said, go ahead.
No, I just have something further on Prabhupada's having equanimity in the face of great danger.
Yeah, good.
So, it's quite well known, because it's on a tape, one of the lectures, that Prabhupada, when the bombing occurred during World War II in Calcutta.
He was eating his kachoris.
And Prabhupada said, illimitably, he gives the sound effects, ching, this is like the universal form, of Krishna. He stayed in Calcutta and he faced it. But what's not so well known, I didn't know until I worked on Bhakti Swami's memoirs, how he came and his time with Prabhupada, in the early days, very nice. That was a couple of summers ago. That Prabhupada, apparently at that time, there were some other devotees from the Gaudiya Math still in the city. And they went on Harinam while the bombs were coming down. And Bhakti Swami relates how Prabhupada explained that. He must have told him personally. That what better place to be? You're on Harinam, which is already auspicious, and then if the bombs come, you go back to God. Safest place to be, Prabhupada says.
Definitely. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing
that. It's in that
that
book, The Ocean of Compassion.
I read the book. Nice book, by the way. And he signed it for me. He gave it personally to me.
Nice.
in government.
Just on this being fearless and the narration of the Khichdi story, you two just said, I was thinking how Prabhupada said one time, Prabhupada liked to take his prasadam in peace, it was a meditation. Prabhupada says, prasadam seva. So Prabhupada said, if it's not worth $1 million, don't interrupt my prasadam. So even the bombs are coming, Prabhupada, it's prasadam. Then Karandar asked Prabhupada, well, what if it is worth $1 million? And Prabhupada said, oh, then you can interrupt.
Okay. It remind me when there was an earthquake in LA in 1994.
Yeah.
I was living in LA at that time.
Not sure.
I was doing the Bhakti program there, the Spanish preaching, the Latin preaching. And at 4:30 in the morning, happened the earthquake, And they just opened the door of the deities. We paid obeisance to Gornitai, then Rukmini, Dwarkadish, and when we were going to pay obeisance to Lord Jagannath, the earthquake started, And I mean, the onyx pillars, before they had onyx pillars, they fell, making a big noise. And if we were paying obeisance to Jagannath, they would have fallen in our heads, Maybe have killed us. And if they had a few moments before, the door of the altar would be closed, and the devotee could not help the pujari because the pujaris needed help to sustain the deities, So the devotees in the front row, they jumped into the altar and helped the pujari to,
Instead of running for the door, they jumped to save the deities.
Yes, it was amazing. And it was like the hand of a big giant moving the floor. I mean, we could not stand. We fell to the floor. I mean, it was so heavy.
Yeah.
And lasted like 30 seconds or more, Yeah.
Do you know that our deities here?
Yeah.
Because that earthquake, we felt it down here. It wasn't obviously as bad as that, but we felt it. And we thought, marble deities, what if they fall when no one's here?
Yeah.
So our deities, Gornitai, I think also for the judgment.
They have bells.
But they're Damodar, they're tied in.
That's what they did in LA also. They took the deities out of the temple, put them in the bus, and they were...
No, but we're saying that not even our deities now.
Yeah, that's good.
They're Velcroed in.
Yes. Yeah. Earthquake proof. Said we lost gas. There was no gas to cook. We were cooking with wood, firewood. We were cooking. And all the devotees that night, they took out their tent. Everybody was sleeping outside, but me, I was sleeping in the ashram. And people asked me, "Are you not afraid?" I said, "Mare Krishna Rake Krishna Mare Ke. If it is your time, it is your time."
In that theme, of course, devotees, Hardy Vilas on a morning walk, you can hear it, he's in Paris, and he says, if devotees are fearless, why do we wear seatbelts? Why do we do this? Prabhupada said devotees are fearless, but they're not fools.
Of course.
So we use our common sense, but at the same time, I was going to say about, because you had made the point that Krishna protects his devotees, Krishna, with the marble fall, the onyx fall. And anyway, I'll just say, there was a man up here in El Cajon when we had that big earthquake. I don't know, maybe it was, somewhere in SanDiego. When the earthquake hit, it was, like we said, early in the morning. And he was living in an apartment building. The apartment building collapsed. And when it collapsed, the gas pipes broke. And it was also in flames. Somehow the guy was living on the 3rd floor. He made it out of the collapsed building on flames. He got out of the building and it was still dark. And he was looking, he said, "Man, am I lucky. How did I survive that?" And he was hit by a fire truck coming to put out the fire and kill him. So, when it's your time, we should use our intelligence, but ultimately,
if it is your time, that's true.
Like you said, whoever Krishna kills, whoever wants to. Did you give the English for that translation?
Yeah, if Krishna wants to protect you, who can harm you? And if Krishna says it is your time to leave your body, you can't stop it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Premanandi.
He said, I asked you to say something this week. Did you get some yet or not yet?
I got it.
Oh, you got it? Good. Is that way I'll go to the post office today? that way first. I'm coming that way. You want to go back to I'll meet you there.
Do you know the saga of Sharabat? Sharabat, the devotee from Croatia. No, Serbia and Croatia.
What is his name?
Sharabat.
No.
I'll tell you when we get back. It's a great story. Along these lines of,
Please.
what is it? Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Rake Krishna, Hare. It's a big God to say.
You know, we could give a whole class, and the three of us could give a whole class on that. You know, far out events of Nurse actually stepped in and saved the devotees.
Definitely.
I got a few myself.
I have also feel myself in South America.
So Marge, when you do whatever you want to do, but if you can share some of the stories with us, that would be very sweet. When you give class, I think you give class on Sunday. Whatever you want to do. Well, we like your stories. No, I'm under a lot of caution.
But you can give us something.
No, you give girls. You give them Father, I've already told them. No, we want to hear you. How come they hear me all the time? I'll send you a tape. I'll send you the link to the tape.
You have fun out stories.
No, but Raj, you have that. I get most of them from you.
I've heard them all.
We've all had
You don't think we kill them, especially if they attack you.
we all have a few up to save.
No,
That's
No, I've got a system.
Yeah, but if you're being attacked,
You're associated.
but otherwise, and generally, you know,
Wait a minute.
around here,
Wait,
because
but I got a system.
no water.
My house and my mom's house.
It is there. I'm surprised. Go ahead.
Okay, so
When they attack, go for them.
Well, who attacks?
So
Any creatures attack?
Snakes?
You know, this is one of the beauties in my opinion.
Le voy a tratar de escuchar al principio. Está tratando de escuchar cuando en el camino, pero a veces...
We don't even have to kill a fly or anything unnecessary. But if someone attacks with a poison or a deadly weapon, there's some reasons.
Ayer cuando te pregunté como de los obeisances, el de las deidades, después cuando te ibas a ir conmigo
Who attacked
obeisances, pero pues está pensando en Gornita, está ahí, entonces es solo insulting, o de casa también,
Extreme example would be a head-on fight with an evil person. Like, she's sitting there telling me she's going to do this to me, and she's going to... Yeah.
Was she armed? Was she bigger than you?
So Maharaj, one question. Prabhupada said that one should not pay obeisances in front of the deities to the Vaishnavas or the Guru.
You know,
What do you think about that?
You know, I don't know the answer to that. Because there are different opinions.
Yeah.
And I was thinking who to ask, because the deities were here in Los Angeles. There was a sadhu who were here, and we were having kirtan. And Prabhupada would walk out to his garden in the evening, you know, because his garden was right, you know,
Outside behind,
And when Prabhupada would walk by, we'd all offer
Prabhupada said
in front of the deities.
And
So
Prabhupada
I think it's one of those things. See, I prefaced it with I think, so I don't have that there's some fault if you do it, but there's probably a bigger fault if you don't. I'm inclined to offer for seniors if you're the same person. I'm inclined to offer my services.
even in front of the deities.
Even she was attracted. I don't really, what do you think? I know the injunction is, in Nectar Devotion says that you should not wear red or blue in front of the deities.
That's right.
But Prabhupada sent in India, when that first wave, they had Kasoya go with his voice. And the stars she got were blue and red. They were on symbols of Prabhupada using.
Yeah.
So they were blue for the deep.
What was going to say?
I've seen it. My like just like easily they have it has like touching feet and all that is like good avoid somebody like in front of the TV somebody's touching.
I can understand that.
Yeah, but in general, it is.
But what about obeisance?
You see Saint before this morning?
So it's not a, there's no picture that when you're
Worshiping someone.
but Vaishnava,
We can go back to sleep.
I can ask you this. If I can,
Please do.
And from the heart. Here's one of the things.
what do you do? What you mean? But your discipleship follow your discipleship.
I tell them what to do. If the Shastra say like that, follow the Shastra. But if you can avoid it, I mean, like you said, with both of them, which fault is bigger, the way to do it or not to do it?
Say a word that wasn't
I'd rather
supposed to be there. Not like
Yeah,
that.
I understand.
Whatever you do,
Don't give them the power. I gotta run because I went right. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, I'm with you. Let's go.
Le podemos dar la guirnalda.
Claro que sí. Y una cosa,
Yeah, no, please.
es mejor que vayamos todos con Yadu, porque él tiene, ¿cómo se llama? Él puede pasar, ¿cómo se llama eso? Century Pass. Entonces, nosotros que no tenemos Century Pass podemos ir caminando.
Yo hablé con él ayer. Es que el sábado tienen familia que tienen 5 años que no
va a poder ir entonces.
No sé, tal vez van a ir después al programa, pero entrando a México no hay línea. Es
No,
regresar.
regreso.
Voy a hablar con él porque de regreso Madhumati dijo que ella va a regresar a ayer. No sé si hay de él que ella conoce tiene el Century Pass.
No, pero el Century Pass tiene que tenerlo la otra persona también, yo no tengo. Lo que puede ser es médico.
Okay. Voy a hablar con Madhumati.
Eso de médico pasa rápido. Si vamos en tu carro, dile a Madhumati hoy mismo que consiga un paso de doctor. ¿No? Y con ese pase no hay problema, pasamos en la vía más rápida.
Okay. Voy a
Por
hablar
favor,
con Madhumati.
habla con ella entonces. ¿No?
Okay.
Listo. Bueno, muy bien.
Adiós.
Ok, entonces.
Y dile a Madhu que el prasad es después del programa, no antes.
Okay.
¿No?
Okay, está.
Bueno.
Entonces, compras el décimo.
Sí, hermano.
Tim. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Nice to see you, buddy.
Good to see you too, Baba. So what did you think about your mom?
Nice lady.
Yeah, she is.
About to retire.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Right? Isn't she lucky?
How old is she?
Born in 53, so 65?
God, does it come? What I do? That's funny, right? They are so laughing at those, but I ain't laughing at those.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.